so that we can hear from our colleague Pablo. And I thank you for being with us, Pablo, and for sharing those remarks, John.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everyone. First of all, let me express my gratitude to the Spanish Embassy, National Academy of Sciences, Juanly, Ernesto, Diana, John, and all the organizers for the invitation to give this presentation. And it's short time, so I can't say many things about what happened after 500 years in only 8 minutes, but I'll do my best. I want to show you a few concepts that are key to understanding a historical milestone in history, such as the first voyage around the world 500 years ago. Here on the screen, you can see the 4 spices that they were most searched, and the only ship that managed to turn the world round. So I'm going to talk about plants, spices, globalization, and a little bit of ecology. And everything started with Christopher Columbus. And in 1492, a Spanish expedition to India tripped on a new continent, America, that they didn't expect at all. So Isabel, the Queen of Spain, Isabel I, paid the trip to find a new commercial route to India. So the aim was that for the Queen. But Christopher Columbus searched for plants, spices, to offer solid proof of finding India, which became his obsession. So he was searching for spices that they were very similar to the ones that were coming from the east of the old world. And he found something that he was obsessed because he didn't really manage. People didn't think he was in India because the botany was not very well developed, and the only botanist said that the species were not the same. They were similar, but not the same. So he did 4 trips, and on every single trip, they tried to bring things proving that they hit the India. So he passed away thinking that he was in India, and he found different spices. What is quite remarkable, he didn't really believe he discovered a new continent. So the main result was the discovery of America. Most people have the misconception about the real aim of this trip. It was not silver, it was not gold. The main objective was plants, and particularly spices. So only 27 years later, a new expedition set off. An international voyage of 250 sailors from 11 countries searched for something else. The King of Spain was a different one, Charles I, paid the trip to find a new commercial route to India beyond America, and an alternative route to the Portuguese route around Africa. That it was the Portuguese route to India, and it was the Spanish one that they tried because it was a treaty, Tordesillas Treaty, that didn't let the Spaniards go to the east. So they tried this long way, they managed. And in this case as well, the king wanted that new route, but the sailors didn't want to go to the west because of a new route. They really wanted to find spices, and among all the spices, clove. So clove was the most expensive one by far. So it was Magellan's idea, an expedition, but was killed on the way. So as the ambassador told us, Sebastian Elcano led the first voyage around the world. So the results of this trip is the verification. It's not something that now everybody knows and we understand, but in the old times, verification of that the Earth was spherical was one of the results, and the second one was the first step to globalization. So the misconception is that people think, oh, they did all that trip just trying to be the first ones to, do a voyage around the world. And it's not true. They were searching for spices. They were searching for a new route, commercial route, to compete against the Portuguese, because they were, I may say, that the Portuguese were the best navigators in the old times, in the 15th century. In some, the two trips, Christopher Columbus and Magellan Elcano trips, had a common goal: searching for plants, spices. So, well, I'm not going to hide that I'm a botanist. So I want to stress that plants were important, and there were two trips where plants were very important and they triggered the trip. So that's the clove. That's the most expensive spice. They say nutmegs and clove, but if you go to the records and you go to the archives, you find that the Victoria ship brought around 25,000 kilos of cloves, as you can see here in this sack. Nutmeg was not very important. They didn't break much of that because it was by far the most expensive spice, and they hardly brought something else. So that clove was enough to pay for the trip and to give enough money to the sailors to become not rich, but just to have an easy life after all. So the gem of the trip is clove. It occurs on 5 teeny tiny islands here in the Pacific. Clove was a spice that was worth its weight in gold, literally. And now everything changed, because now it's cultivated in many tropical countries. And now for $1 you can get the 1 ounce or 30 grams. So everything changed, but it was different in the past. So after all these trips and voyages in the 15th and 16th centuries, we can say that globalization after 500 years, for better or worse, affects all of us. The world has been little by little more and more connected, including viruses as corona and goods we enjoy from any country. Global warming is also the aftermath of human activities operating in multiple countries. So globalization means many things, many bad things, many good things. And the question is, how long does it have to take for us to realize that the Earth is a macro ecosystem that we have to preserve for our own good? Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Pablo. Appreciate that perspective from botany and our interconnectedness as one Earth.